Most people don't fail because they lack talent, discipline, or effort. They fail quietly because they never clearly decide what they want. They wake up early, work hard, stay busy, and still feel like life keeps passing them by. If that sounds familiar, this video might change the way you approach everything from goals to opportunities. Because today, we're not talking about motivation. We're talking about a hidden mistake that keeps capable people stuck for years without realizing it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Life doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to direction. You can push as hard as you want, but if you're pushing in no clear direction, you'll only end up exhausted. Many people confuse movement with progress. They believe that if they stay busy long enough, something good will eventually happen. But effort without intention is like rowing a boat without a destination. You move, but you don't arrive. One of the biggest mistakes hardworking people make is assuming that the world will notice their effort and reward it automatically. That if they just keep showing up, staying loyal, and doing their best, someone or something will eventually hand them the life they want. But life doesn't work on assumptions. It works on clarity. And clarity begins with asking. When you don't ask, nothing activates. Opportunities don't line up. Your mind doesn't search for solutions. Your emotions don't commit. Asking is not about begging or hoping. Asking is about declaring intent. It's about telling your brain, your behavior, and your environment exactly what you are aiming for. Until you do that, everything stays vague, and vague goals produce vague results. Think about how many people you know who say things like, "I just want to be successful," or "I want a better life," or "I want to make more money." Those are not goals. Those are wishes. They're foggy thoughts that feel good to say but give your mind nothing to work with. When the mind has no clear target, it defaults to survival mode. It focuses on getting through the day, not building the future. The moment you clearly ask for something specific, a shift happens. You may not understand how it works, but suddenly you start noticing things you ignored before. You hear conversations differently. You spot opportunities you walked past for years. You start making decisions that align instead of distract. That's because asking turns on a mental and emotional process that can't activate without clarity. Here's where many people misunderstand receiving. They think receiving is something you have to earn, chase, or force. But receiving is not the hard part. Receiving is automatic once the direction is set. The real struggle is that most people never properly ask, so there is nothing to receive. They work endlessly, but never define what the work is for. This is why so many capable people feel frustrated. They are good workers, but poor askers. They execute tasks well, but never stop to define the outcome they want those tasks to lead to. Without asking, effort becomes random, and random effort rarely leads to extraordinary results. Another mistake is assuming success is scarce. People subconsciously believe that opportunities are limited, that success runs out, and that if someone else wins, there's less left for them. That belief shrinks the way they ask. They ask small, they aim low, they play safe, not because they lack ambition, but because they fear disappointment. In reality, opportunity is abundant. Ideas, connections, growth, and success are not rationed. But many people approach life as if abundance requires permission. They go after big possibilities with small expectations. They dip a teaspoon into an ocean and then conclude that there isn't much there. When you ask small, you receive small. Not because the world is unfair, but because your request defines your reach. The size of what you ask for shapes the size of the actions you're willing to take. Bigger asking leads to bolder decisions. Smaller asking keeps you comfortable, but confined. Now, asking alone isn't enough. How you ask matters just as much as what you ask for. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from vague desires to intelligent asking. That means defining what you want in real terms. How much? By when? In what form? Under what conditions? Clarity forces honesty, and honesty creates alignment. When you define a goal clearly, it stops being a dream and starts becoming a direction. Your behavior adjusts. Your priorities sharpen. You stop saying yes to things that don't serve the outcome. This is why clear goals feel magnetic. They don't magically attract success, but they pull your attention, energy, and decisions in one consistent direction. But clarity without belief creates friction. This is where many adults get stuck. They plan like adults, but believe like skeptics. They analyze everything, doubt everything, and protect themselves from disappointment by lowering expectations. Children don't do that. Children believe before they see proof. They assume possibility first and figure out details later. There's a powerful balance here. Make plans like an adult, structured, realistic, thoughtful. But believe in them like a child, open, confident, and unashamed of wanting more. When belief disappears, action weakens. When belief is strong, effort multiplies. Belief doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to let fear make decisions for you. It means acting as if your goal is achievable, while accepting that the path may be uncomfortable. That mindset changes how you show up every day. If you've been working hard but feeling stuck, this isn't a motivation problem. It's a direction problem. You don't need more hustle. You need clearer asking. You need to decide what you actually want instead of hoping effort will eventually figure it out for you. Try this for the next 90 days. Stop focusing on doing more. Focus on asking better. Be specific. Be honest. Be bold enough to ask for something that excites you and scares you at the same time. Give your mind something clear to pursue instead of something vague to survive. At the end of those 90 days, you'll notice something different. Not just in your results, but in how you think, decide, and act. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to the old way. But most people never do. Because once you experience what intentional asking does, you realize effort finally has a direction. The world doesn't reward busyness. It responds to clarity. And the moment you truly ask, the process begins.